Hey everybody, it is raining and we are going up into the woods because we are doing something pretty cool. We are going to start to mark trails for our trails to be improved, and we're going to get some trails made. We're super excited. It's been a dream of our family for several years since we've moved in. We've been on our farm for 6.5 years now, and we have about 20 acres. But the back 13 or 14 is all woods. It's pretty steep too. We live in the mountains of North Carolina. Our house is at about 2,700 feet, and the top of the ridge is 3,400 feet. So you can do the math, it's pretty steep. But about 30 years ago, or maybe 25 years ago, the property was logged in some areas. So they made a really steep trail that goes to the very top of this ridge. And then it kind of forms these side trails. It kind of looks like branches of a tree. There's all of these dead-end trails, basically, where they did their logging. But it's so steep on the main trail, it's not fun for horses. We have tried once or twice when we first moved in. And then the trail's dead end. My wife is a horse trainer, and my daughter rides. She does endurance races. So if we could get a couple nice loops up there, we would be really excited. I have done some trail maintenance up there over the years, but with a chainsaw, it's just impossible to really do. I think I could maintain them with a chainsaw and a four-wheeler, which I don't have. But there's trees in the trails. Most of the trees in the trails are probably 15 years old, but there's hundreds of them. So we found a local guy is going to be here in a few days, and he's going to start working on our trails. He's going to build some, and he's going to clean up the ones that already exist, and hopefully we'll have maybe 2 miles of trails up there. I don't really know exactly, but it's definitely going to be some fun trails to ride horses, hike, run on, maybe eventually get a four-wheeler. So I got my spray paint, I got my GIS map here from our county, and I have an idea of what I want to happen, and I've walked the trails a lot. But I'm going to mark him with paint so that when he is there in his excavator, he's going to know where to go. So let's head up to the woods. I know this doesn't look like a trail, but it is. It's really steep, and this is one of our access points to the system of trails we'll have up here. And again, it's summertime, so this is, the worst time to be up here as far as hiking because everything's overgrown. But in the winter and the fall, early spring, this is great. But let me show you one of our problems. There's a steep trail that goes up there. And again, these trails were made for logging, not for horses. And the horses can go up here, but they don't really enjoy it. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a trail cut this way, and then it's going to switch back. So we're going to have a lot of switchbacks on our trail system for the horses to enjoy. Again, the horses could get up some of this stuff, but it's better for them not to. So I'm going to be hiking this way, and I'll be showing the guy that's doing the work where to go. But basically, like I said, we're going to go up and over back to the main trail. So that's my first step. And I got my can of spray paint that I'll be marking trees as I go. It's all small trees. It isn't going to be like this large walnut tree there. Or we have all these big tulip poplars behind me. He's not taking out any big trees, just small trees, about the size of leg, arm, 6 inches, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna mark these trails and then we're gonna keep going. So this little steep trail is what we're trying to avoid with the horses, and it's only a small section. But what I did, it's gonna be hard for you to see through the trees. It starts to get flat right here, and then we're gonna get to the main trail. So I went and tagged trees that way, about 150 feet, and then it's gonna make a switchback back down to the gate, and that's gonna make getting up to the main trail system a lot easier. And again, that's just one of our access points. And like I said, we have probably 60% of the trails were built, but they dead end, and the main trail is so steep that it's almost, you know, not much of a point to take horses. I do foraging up here, find mushrooms. I harvest rhododendron. I'm hoping to maybe have a tiny cabin up here one day to rent. But having a good trail system is going to really help all of those things. So this here is our main trail. Looks pretty good. But then I'm going to show you where it starts to get steep, which again, we're trying to fix and avoid the steep trail. This is a section I marked out yesterday, or this morning actually. This is an old trail that's overgrown, so that's going to be an improvement. But this here, like I said, is that main trail, which just goes all the way to the top of the ridge. And you can see, just ain't no fun. So we're gonna find other ways to stay off this trail. And sometimes we'll be on it with the horses. I've actually taken my mountain bike down this thing years ago when we moved in. I had to push it up. I don't know why I did it, I just wanted to do it. But let's go ahead, keep marking trail. All these trees are going to be cleared. I think the girls could trot on this, no problem. Me, I prefer a slow walking horse. Not a Tennessee Walker, but I prefer walking. But I have trotted and I have cantered even. Yeah, here's our trail, and just gonna really allow us to enjoy more of our property. And it's got some really big boulders. There's a really cool trail up there, the next trail up, that I would love to put a tiny cabin up for friends or family, or to Airbnb one day. I mean, you'd have to hike to it. It'd be like a half-mile hike. Here's a little swampy area we have to take care of. So this trail is going to end in a second, and then what we have to do is bushwhack to another trail to connect them. So we're where this trail basically dead ends. It kind of turns into a deer trail there. But the guy that's doing the work says he can go down and make this a loop. There's actually a trail down there we're going to connect it to. I couldn't do that. I could probably do some of this flat work. This guy's been doing this for 15 or 20 years. He's an expert. So he's going to go down this slope, and there's about 100 feet through that bramble. It's going to hook up to another pre-existing trail. Now, a person running an excavator in Florida or South Carolina, I don't even know if they would feel comfortable doing this, because they don't have the experience. But this guy's been doing it for a long time. He says no problem. I'm also hoping to, on this next trail that's higher up, we're going to link a trail to that. So we're going to have all these switchbacks and loops so that the girls and I and friends can use these trails. The key is we don't want erosion, and we don't want super steep trails for horses or four-wheelers or anything like that. So I'm going to walk through this and start spray painting these smaller trees that are going to be taken out, and hopefully I can find the trail that it goes to. We'll see. I have been in these woods a lot, all seasons. Summer's usually my least favorite time here because it's overgrown, but now with trails it may turn into my favorite time. I spend a lot of time up here with my daughter in the spring and fall looking for salamanders. In the wintertime I come up here. There is even the possibility that we could get a heavy snow and we could actually snowshoe here. At least back in the day you could. So I got a couple of the trails marked out. Where I'm sitting at right now is actually going to be the intersection of 3 trails, so that's pretty exciting. So it's nice when I walk the property. Last time it was dark and I didn't get a long time to really think about what I wanted. So this here is going to be an intersection of 3 trails. There's going to be a few switchbacks here. There's going to be a trail coming in that way. And then right down here, our main trail is actually right there. That green is overgrown grass. So there's going to be a trail coming up here to meet these. And actually, you can't see it, but through these trees is another established trail. We just have to go about 200 feet to get to it. So this is going to be an intersection of a lot of trails. So I'm pretty excited. We're going to keep heading up the mountain. About 200 feet up there is the trail I was on, and then maybe, I don't know, 500 feet above that is another long, straight, flat trail, probably our longest trail. Our property is kind of like a backwards P. It's really fat in the back of the property. So we're going to try to connect them and keep on going. And the hardest thing is I'm not getting lost, but just making sure I know where I'm at, because I have to walk the trails, or I'm bushwhacking and I'm marking it with my paint, but you want to meet up with the trails that you want to meet up with. I don't want to go 300 feet that way, and I really want to go 300 feet that way to hit that trail that's over there through those trees. So a lot of times I'm walking or bushwhacking the same area 3 or 4 times, marking it and making sure that what I'm designing makes sense. But let's head up further up the mountain. So here's another trail, again, really overgrown, hundreds of small trees, tulip poplars, and with a chainsaw and me working, I could spend my whole life just taking trees out on these trails and never get to enjoy them. So that's why we're having a local guy come and clean them all up for us. But man, I'm so excited. It's really going to be a different property getting to use these. Cool tree, huh? It's like getting to use these trails. And I know you can hear traffic. That's just how it is here. So this trail, again, barely usable. And soon, in a week or 2, he's coming back. I think he has 5 or 6 days of work here. But he has about 2 days he can come and start. Then he's going to come back in another week. But eventually, this is going to be our trail system. It's going to be amazing. Now, this trail is actually probably going to be a dead-end trail, because it dead ends at these kind of cool rocks, and it gets really steep there. So this is just going to be a dead end. He's just going to be cleaning this one up. And the cool thing is, we can go higher and higher, and there's more trails like this. So, I mean, look how steep this is. He's not going to be doing a trail there, but down there, we're going to have a trail going to the lower trail. There's a really cool rock formation up there. Yeah, just stuff we don't get to enjoy as much because we're always bushwhacking. So I'm super excited. I'm gonna mark some more trails. And I just want to say thanks for following along. I don't always do stuff right. I don't always do stuff fast, but I get the job done, and I'm making progress. And I'm really excited about this farm. And I've always been a lover of the woods, which is maybe one of the reasons we bought this property, because it has so many woods. So until next time, keep on dreaming, and I hope to catch you in the next video.